it's Jess from Sunflower Dairy. I am out here in the garden today, and welcome back to the homestead. It's time to give you all another garden tour. Now, if you've been here before, you know that we try to do a garden tour every week to show you what we're harvesting, what we're planting, what's producing, and all of that. So we're zone 5B, 6A. We try to show you all what we're doing in our garden so you kind of have an idea what you should be doing in your gardens. Of course, growing zones are different, so sometimes what we're doing in our garden, you know, it might be different in your garden. It just depends on your growing zone. But if you're close to our growing zone, it might help for you to see what we're doing. So right now we're in the middle of the summer gardening season, and we are going right into harvest time. So we are starting to, you know, having things ripen and things are producing. So right now it's a time where I have to take a harvest basket every time I come to the garden because I'm always finding something. All right, all, let's go do a garden tour. So I'm in the kitchen garden right now, and in the kitchen garden I only planted a few cabbages in the kitchen garden because over in the production garden you all know that I have that huge bed of cabbages. But I put a few in here, and this one's getting pretty good size. That's exciting. This one's gonna be about ready to pick in probably a good couple more days, but there's not a ton of cabbage moth damage on. Like, look at these leaves are pretty full, so I'm pretty happy with this. I'm gonna show you all, look at the potatoes that I just planted a couple days ago. Look, they're already sprouting up, which of course this is the time of year where if you put something in the ground, it's gonna be up in a couple of days. So the potatoes are on a good start, and this is a good sign that we're definitely gonna be getting some potatoes before freeze. Alright, so right below me is some tomato plants, and there are multiple tomatoes on these, but I have to harvest tomatoes very quickly because I have very naughty chickens that even though they have pens to keep them out of the garden, they know that there's yummy treats in the garden, so they fly out of the pens and they peck all my tomatoes. So I have to harvest my tomatoes when they first start blushing, because if I let them ripen on the vine, all my chickens will eat all my tomatoes and I will have none. Nice yellow tomatoes. Yellow tomatoes are my favorite because they're lighter, they're not as citrusy, and they don't have as much acid, and they're just more mild. And I love these for tomato sandwiches, especially with sea salt. So yellow tomatoes are my favorite. Here's a few more down here that are starting to blush, but we need to get them before the chickens do. So in the basket they go. Alright, so here we have all kinds of string beans, and right here in front of me there's purple string beans, and they're vining up this trellis, but there is tons of string beans on this, so I need to get these harvested because the more you harvest your string beans, the more your string beans will produce. And I don't want my plants to slow down because I didn't plant as many plants in the garden as I usually do, and I want to get the most out of these plants as I possibly can. So I'm going to get these harvested so that I can get my plants producing some more. And this right here, this is only like 4 or 5 plants. So, and I just harvested these plants like 2 days ago. So when you see this handful, you're not gonna believe that only this few of plants produce this many in just a couple days. Look at all those. Right down here in this garden bed, there's quite a few little spicy peppers that need to be picked because these little plants are loaded. Now these are just a little spicy pepper, but they don't get too big. But they do need to be harvested because these plants are loaded. And like I've said before, if you want your plants, any kind of plant, to keep producing, you need to keep harvesting off your plant. Because what your plant's goal in life, a plant's goal in life is to produce fruit or vegetables, to produce seeds. Because a plant's actual life goal is to make more plants. So if you can stop the plant from doing that, the plant's gonna keep trying to do that until it achieves its goal. So if you keep harvesting off your plants will keep producing. I mean, of course, you know, with a carrot or a beet, once you pull those out of the ground, they're done. But with a pepper plant or a tomato plant or bean plant, you know, those plants, you keep harvesting stuff off of them and they're going to keep producing for you. The mammoth sunflower. So let me get over here so you all can kind of see. Look, my hand can't even touch the top anymore. It's like maybe 3 feet taller than my hand. And there's still not a flower up there. Alright, all, let's head over to the second garden. Alright, all, over here in the second garden, and oh, signs of naughty chickens. Look at this. This one's not even ripe yet and they're already eating it. What the heck? Anyway, let's look and see if there's any tomatoes on here for me to get before they get them. Nice little tomato cluster. That's pretty exciting. Alright, over in this tomato bed, and I'm already seeing tons of tomatoes. So let me harvest all of these really quick. Goodness, that's a lot of tomatoes, and there's still a ton more. So the red tomatoes that I have in my hand, the red cherries, those are a little heart variety. I can't remember the name off the top of my head right now, but the little yellow ones, they're called the pear tomatoes. And the pear tomatoes, they're like a really light, mild tomato, and they produce really well. But just look at all those. There's still more for me to pick in here. So let's harvest some of these ox hearts. Check those out. Alright, so I actually have some Romas, like you all know what Roma tomatoes are. So these are the ox hearts, and I'm going to show you what a regular Roma looks like. So see the difference? See how like nice these are compared to the little Romas? Like just look how beefy that is. That is an awesome sauce tomato. Awesome sauce. What in the world? let's head to the big in-ground garden. Alright, I'll check out the size of all of these squash plants. And I literally just checked on these squash plants earlier this morning. Well, they already have squash this evening that's ready to harvest. And that just goes to show how fast squash actually grows. So there's a couple different squashes that I actually need to harvest, or else they're going to be way too big by morning. So let's see if I can go ahead and do that. Check that out. That is a nice squash. That is nice. So this is a type of zucchini squash, and so this is basically just a different color of zucchini. So that's pretty cool. That's about the size you want them. You don't want zucchini or squash super massive, because then it's going to start producing more seeds than flesh, and you don't want to be eating a mouthful of seeds. You want to mainly have squash that you're eating. So that is a good size. I wouldn't want that any bigger. So let's see. This other plant down here looks like there's one that I need to grab as well. Check that out. I gotta show you the two different colors. So this one is a striped zucchini, so this has stripes all over it, and then this is a light colored. So pretty cool. So this one's supposed to have a light, kind of a light zucchini taste, and then this striped one, I heard that this is supposed to have like a nutty or earthy taste, so that's going to be pretty interesting to try. But I'm excited about these, and as you can see with all the squash plants, there's going to be a ton more, especially since this grows so quickly. Alright, let's head over to the mini tunnel. Alright, all over here at the mini tunnel or mini greenhouse. As you can already see by just looking in this greenhouse, the watermelons have taken over. Let me show you. Just check out all these watermelon vines. They are crazy. Of course, you can see the greenhouse is completely covered. You can't really see the ground anymore. It's like a maze to get in here. And I'm starting to see little baby watermelons. So this mini tunnel is a success. And I'm going to say that I'm definitely going to be growing things in mini tunnels from here on out, because they really, really work. And I have never successfully been able to grow watermelons this year. I mean, I haven't harvested out of here yet, but before this year, I have never even had watermelon plants get this big. So the fact that these all look this great already, I'm super hopeful. And the fact that I'm seeing little baby watermelons all over the place, I'm already calling this a success. So the watermelons are going crazy. The Kajari melons and chrysanthemum melons, mini watermelons, August watermelons, they're all just going crazy, and this is amazing. Alright, let's head over to the big high tunnel greenhouse. Alright, over here at the big greenhouse, so the raised bed in here is also doing amazing, so let's go check that out. So as you can see, it's a jungle in here, and everything is growing crazy well. Tomato plants are getting big. Eggplants are getting big. Pepper plants are getting big. This is all just growing like crazy. Alright all, the sun is starting to set, so let me take you over to some of the cut flower gardens before it gets too dark. Check these out. I promise every day these grow probably a foot or more. And I even saw one over there that's starting to bloom. So let's go check that out. Alright, well, check that out. Our first bloom in the official cut flower garden. That's pretty exciting. Alright, all, the sun is starting to set, but thank you for coming on this garden tour. It's starting to get too dark, so this is about all I can show you for tonight, but thank you for harvesting things in the garden. Thanks for watching. Have a blessed day.